What if I told you that every single day you wake up, you're stepping onto the field of the most important game you'll ever play? The question is, are you playing to win, or are you just moving through the motions, waiting for the clock to run out? Think about it for a moment. Life doesn't pause, it doesn't rewind, and it doesn't care if you're ready. The clock is ticking whether you act or not. And the brutal truth is this: many people spend their entire lives treating it like practice, like they'll get another chance. They don't realize that this is it. The only shot, the only game, the only opportunity. Life is a game. Every decision is a move, every action is a play, and every moment is part of the score you're building. Some people step onto the field with confidence, determined to leave their mark. Others stand on the sidelines, watching, hesitating, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. And while they wait, the ones who dare, the ones who move, the ones who push, they're the ones who keep scoring, who keep leveling up, who keep winning. The difference is not talent. It's not luck. It's the decision to play with intention. Ask yourself right now, are you living your life like a competitor, or are you letting the game pass you by? If you feel stuck, if you feel like something's missing, it's not because life forgot about you. It's because you've been playing safe, protecting comfort, holding back. You've been waiting for certainty in a game that was never designed to be certain. The truth is, no one ever wins by waiting. You win by moving, by deciding, by daring to push when it feels easier to hold back. This is where the fire begins to burn inside you, when you realize that nothing changes until you decide to step into the arena of life as if it's your game to win. Every champion you've ever admired, every person who rose from nothing to greatness, made a choice. They chose to stop being passive players. They chose to see life as a game they could master. They chose to play like it mattered, because it does. Think about it. When you play any game, what drives you? It's not just the rules, not just the challenge. It's the desire to win. That desire fuels focus. It sharpens your mind. It forces you to stretch, to adapt, to get better with every move. Without the hunger to win, the game becomes boring, repetitive, meaningless. That's exactly how life feels when you don't play to win, empty, dull, and stuck on repeat. But the moment you decide you're in it to win it, life transforms. Every setback becomes a lesson, every failure a strategy note, every small victory a spark that pulls you forward. You don't have to accept mediocrity. You don't have to live like a background character in your own story. You have the chance right now to take control of the game board and play with purpose. Yes, it will be hard. Yes, you will face resistance. But isn't that what makes a game worth playing? The obstacles, the competition, the struggle. It's what makes winning powerful, meaningful, unforgettable. Imagine looking back years from now, realizing you played it safe, realizing you let fear dictate your moves. That pain, that regret, will hurt more than any challenge you could ever face today. But imagine the opposite. Imagine looking back and knowing you gave everything, knowing you refused to settle, knowing you played with fire in your soul. That pride, that fulfillment, that victory will make every sacrifice worth it. The reward for playing to win is not just trophies or applause. The reward is freedom, the freedom of knowing you lived fully, the freedom of knowing you didn't waste your chance. It's waking up with purpose, moving with confidence, and going to bed with the satisfaction that you pushed yourself beyond limits. That's the life you deserve. That's the life that belongs to those who refuse to play small. So if you're listening right now, let this be the moment something shifts inside you. Stop treating life like practice. Stop holding back like you have another round to play. This is your time. This is your field. This is your game. And the only way to honor the gift of being alive is to play like it matters, to play like the clock is running down, to play with one goal in mind, winning. Because at the end of the day, life doesn't reward those who stand still. It rewards those who step up, who push harder, who refuse to quit. Life is a game. Don't just play it. Play to win. Every game has rules, whether you like them or not. You don't get to decide if they exist. You only get to decide if you'll learn them and use them to your advantage, or ignore them and keep losing. Life works the same way. There are principles that never bend: discipline, persistence, sacrifice, growth. If you respect them, they open doors. If you break them, you stay stuck where you are. Too many people waste years fighting reality, hoping the rules will change for them. They want shortcuts. They want ease. They want a version of life where effort isn't required. But wishing for an easier game doesn't make it so. The only way forward is to accept the reality of how life works, and then play it smarter, stronger, and harder than anyone else. The truth is, life is not fair. It never promised to be. Some start ahead, some start behind, some face obstacles others will never understand. But fairness was never the point. Victory is. If you sit around waiting for the scales to balance, you'll wait forever. The winners aren't the ones who complain about the rules. They're the ones who learn how to use them. They adapt, they strategize, they outlast. They understand that the game doesn't reward excuses, it rewards execution. That's why clarity is your first weapon. The moment you stop fighting reality and start mastering it, you gain power. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become a competitor in control of your moves. Think about how a champion approaches any game. They don't step onto the field blind. They study, they prepare, they know the patterns, the plays, the strategies. They anticipate challenges before they come. They accept that struggle is part of the process, not a sign of failure. The same is true in life. If you treat obstacles as unfair punishments, you'll always feel defeated. But if you see them as part of the design, as opportunities to level up, you stop wasting energy on self-pity and start focusing on growth. Every difficulty becomes training. Every loss becomes data. Every setback becomes a stepping stone. When you understand the rules of life, you stop chasing the illusion of luck. You stop waiting for someone to hand you opportunities. You stop expecting comfort to carry you forward. Instead, you recognize that discipline is the currency of progress, that persistence is the ticket to breakthroughs, that sacrifice is the price of achievement, and that growth is the ultimate reward. This is not about perfection, it's about direction. The player who stumbles but keeps moving will always outrun the one who waits for perfect conditions. The beauty of the game is that it doesn't care about your past. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you've made or how many times you've lost. The scoreboard resets every day the moment you wake up. You're given another chance to play, another chance to push, another chance to change your trajectory. But the question is, do you recognize it? Do you wake up aware that today is a move in the game? Or do you treat it like another throwaway moment? Those who win understand the value of time. They know the clock is always running, and they refuse to waste plays on hesitation. And here's what makes this even more powerful. When you align yourself with the rules of life, you stop living in resistance. Most people are exhausted not because they're doing too much, but because they're fighting reality. They resist discipline, they avoid sacrifice, they run from growth. And that resistance drains them. But when you flip the switch and decide to work with life instead of against it, your energy multiplies. The grind doesn't feel like punishment anymore. It feels like progress. The struggle doesn't feel like a curse. It feels like training. The rules don't suffocate you. They empower you. So let this sink in. The game isn't out to get you. The game is neutral. It simply rewards those who play with courage, focus, and consistency. If you put in the effort, you rise. If you cut corners, you fall. If you stay the same, you get left behind. That's the truth most people don't want to face, but the ones who accept it are the ones who rise above. The moment you fully grasp this, something changes inside you. You stop wasting time asking, why me? And start asking, what's my next move? You stop wishing for a different hand and start playing the cards you have with skill and intensity. You stop comparing your game to someone else's and start owning your journey with pride. That shift is where power is born. Because once you know the rules, you realize that winning is no longer about chance. It's about choice, and the choice is yours right now. You can keep stumbling through life, hoping things magically fall into place, or you can wake up, accept the rules, and play them better than anyone else. You can step into each day with clarity, discipline, and hunger, knowing the game will not bend for you, but it will reward you if you rise to the challenge. Life is a game. The rules are set, but your outcome is not. Your outcome is decided by how you choose to play, and the moment you take full responsibility for that truth, you stop surviving and you start winning. Once you accept the rules of the game, the next battle is fought in your mind. Because the truth is, the way you think determines the way you play. Winners and losers face the same obstacles, the same struggles, the same fears. The difference is how they interpret them. Where most people see a dead end, winners see a doorway. Where most people see failure, winners see feedback. Where most people see pressure, winners see preparation. This is the mindset that separates those who stay stuck from those who rise. Every great player understands that the game is not just physical, it's psychological. Life throws the same storms at everyone, but what breaks one person can build another. That's not luck, it's perspective. The moment you stop asking, why is this happening to me, and start asking, how can this make me stronger, everything shifts. Suddenly the obstacle that once felt like a wall becomes a training ground. Suddenly the pain you hated becomes proof that you're growing. Suddenly the failure that embarrassed you becomes the teacher you needed. This is called a growth mindset. It's not just a theory, it's a way of living. Psychologists have proven that those who embrace challenges instead of avoiding them, those who see effort as a path to mastery rather than something to fear, rise higher than those who cling to comfort. When you think like this, setbacks don't destroy you, they develop you. Every loss, every rejection, every mistake adds to your skill set. You stop fearing failure because you understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. But here's the danger. Most people never shift their identity. They keep calling themselves unlucky, unworthy, average. They wear those labels like chains and then wonder why they can't move forward. The truth is, your identity shapes your destiny. If you see yourself as a loser, you'll play like one. If you see yourself as weak, you'll act weak. But the second you decide to identify as a competitor, as someone who plays to win, your entire approach to life changes. You carry yourself differently. You walk into challenges differently. You begin to demand more from yourself because you see yourself as someone capable of more. That's the power of an identity shift. The moment you say, I am no longer someone who settles. I am someone who competes, someone who wins. You start to align your actions with that belief. And action, repeated daily, is what rewires your reality. You can't control every outcome, but you can control how you show up. And when you consistently show up with the mindset of a winner, the game bends in your favor. You must remember, life doesn't get easier. The levels only get harder. But you get stronger if you choose to. Just like in any game, the challenges increase as you advance. That's not punishment, it's progress. It means you're moving forward. So don't run from difficulty. Don't pray for it to disappear. Step into it. Use it. Treat every challenge like a new level designed to unlock a stronger version of you. That shift in mindset turns fear into fuel and doubt into drive. Think of it this way. Pressure is proof of potential. You only feel resistance when you're pushing against something that matters. You only feel the weight because there's growth waiting on the other side. The mind that sees struggle as a curse will quit every time. The mind that sees struggle as a signal will fight harder, longer, smarter. That is why winners rise. They reinterpret the meaning of their pain. And here's the part that lights the fire in your soul. The moment you adopt this mindset, you stop being controlled by external circumstances. It no longer matters what people say, what resources you lack, or what unfair hand you were dealt. You stop blaming the outside world, and you start building the inner world. That's when you become unstoppable, because no matter what happens, you can't be broken. You bend, you learn, you adapt, but you don't stop. That resilience, born from mindset, is what makes a true champion. So ask yourself now, how have you been interpreting your game? Have you been treating obstacles like dead ends or like invitations to grow? Have you been labeling yourself as unworthy, or have you been stepping into the identity of a winner? Because your mind is the controller. If you don't master it, it will master you. But if you do, the entire game changes in your favor. Life is not about avoiding struggle. It's about using it. It's not about escaping pain. It's about transforming it. And it's not about waiting for luck. It's about building strength through every setback. When you choose this mindset, you no longer play to survive. You play to win. And that decision, more than any resource or advantage, is what creates greatness. Would you like me to now keep building the fire and expand the next section on strategy with the same level of intensity and flow? Mindset is the foundation, but mindset without strategy is wasted potential. Desire alone will not win the game. Hunger without direction burns out. Energy without structure collapses. To play life with the intention of winning, you need strategy, clear moves, calculated steps, and a vision that guides your actions. Success is never an accident. It is built piece by piece, decision by decision, habit by habit. The ones who rise aren't simply the most talented. They are the most prepared, the most deliberate, the most consistent. Look closely at anyone who has ever achieved greatness, and you'll see the same pattern. They didn't stumble their way to the top. They designed their path. They created routines that shaped their discipline. They set goals that sharpened their focus. They studied their craft until it became second nature. That is the power of strategy. It transforms vague dreams into achievable victories. Without it, even the strongest mindset drifts into frustration. With it, even ordinary people create extraordinary results. The truth is, life rewards clarity. When you know exactly what you want and how you plan to get it, your actions align with precision. But when you wander without direction, you waste energy, you waste time, you waste potential. That's why winners plan. They don't wait for opportunities to magically appear. They position themselves for them. They don't leave the outcome to chance. They engineer it through preparation. Strategy is not about having everything figured out. It's about knowing your next move and committing to it fully. It's about breaking down your big vision into daily actions that keep you moving forward no matter what. Too many people get paralyzed because they want the entire plan laid out before they begin. But the best players understand the game doesn't reveal every step until you start moving. The first step is clarity of direction. The rest unfolds as you stay consistent. This is where discipline becomes your ally. Strategy without discipline is just paper, nice to look at, but useless in action. You don't rise because of what you wrote down once. You rise because of what you practice daily. The winners create systems that protect their focus, that anchor their habits, that eliminate wasted motion. They don't rely on motivation alone. They rely on structured consistency.
It's why they win while others fall short.
And here's the psychological trigger that most people ignore: control. Humans thrive when they feel a sense of control over their destiny. Strategy gives you that control. It doesn't make the game easy, but it makes it predictable. When you have a plan, you know where to put your energy, you know how to measure your progress, you know how to adapt when challenges strike. Without strategy, you're constantly reacting, constantly overwhelmed, constantly drained. With strategy, you move with confidence because every action connects to your bigger picture. Think of strategy as the playbook of your life. Without it, you're just running around the field, burning energy, hoping to get lucky. With it, every move has meaning. Every step is part of a larger design. That design doesn't guarantee you won't fall. It guarantees that when you do, you'll know how to rise smarter, stronger, and sharper. But the most important part of strategy is execution. Ideas don't win. Dreams don't score points. Execution is the difference between those who talk about what they want and those who actually achieve it. That's why winners don't just plan, they act. They show up even when they don't feel like it. They keep moving even when progress feels slow. They understand that consistency compounds and that steady execution eventually crushes sporadic effort. So here's the reality. If you want to win this game, you must design your path. Don't drift. Don't wait. Don't leave it to chance. Build a strategy that reflects your vision. Commit to it with discipline and execute with relentless consistency. That combination is unstoppable. Talent fades without it. Motivation dies without it. But with it, you create momentum so powerful that nothing can hold you down. And remember this, your strategy doesn't need to be perfect. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Your strategy just needs to keep you moving, adjusting, learning, improving. Every time you execute, you gather feedback. Every time you adapt, you sharpen your edge. Over time, your strategy evolves with you, making you stronger with each step. Life is not won by chance. It's won by those who plan their moves and then act with ruthless determination. The players who think ahead, prepare ahead, and execute without hesitation are the ones who break through barriers. They understand the truth. Victory is never random. It's engineered. So ask yourself, are you living with a strategy, or are you just reacting to whatever comes your way? Are you structuring your days to align with your vision, or are you letting the days drift by with no purpose? Because the game doesn't wait. The clock doesn't pause. The opportunities don't linger forever. The ones who rise are the ones who design their life like they're playing to win. Life is a game, but it's not a game of luck. It's a game of strategy, discipline, and execution. The players who understand this stop wasting time and start building momentum. And when you build momentum, nothing and no one can stop you. Even with strategy, even with the right mindset, the game will test you. It will push back. It will place obstacles in your path, not because it wants to destroy you, but because resistance is the fire that forges strength. Every player encounters it. Doubt whispers. Fear paralyzes. Procrastination tempts. Criticism cuts deep. The weight of failure presses down, and this is where most people fold. They think resistance means they're not meant to win, when in reality resistance is proof that they're on the right path. Nothing worth achieving comes without a fight. Resistance exists to measure how much you really want it. If it were easy, everyone would win, but the game filters out the weak, the distracted, the uncommitted. That's why resistance should not be feared, it should be embraced, because the very struggles that try to hold you back are the same struggles that will sharpen your character, harden your resolve, and prepare you for greater victories. Understand this: the enemy is not outside of you. The toughest battles are fought in your own mind, a voice that says, you're not ready. The hesitation that whispers, do it tomorrow. The fear that screams, what if you fail? That inner resistance is the real opponent. If you can silence it, if you can rise above it, nothing external can defeat you. Winners are not those who never feel fear. They are those who move forward despite it. Every time you face resistance and keep going, you earn power, you upgrade. Just like in a game, each level has a boss to defeat. Some bosses are bigger than others, but with each battle, your skills expand. That's why resilience is the hidden currency of winners. It's the ability to take a punch and keep moving, to fall and still rise, to face rejection and come back stronger. The danger is that resistance disguises itself. It shows up as comfort, luring you into routines that feel safe but keep you small. It shows up as excuses that sound reasonable but rob you of progress. It shows up as distractions that steal your focus and waste your energy. If you don't recognize it, resistance will quietly drain your potential until you look back and wonder why you never rose higher. But if you see it for what it is, an opponent in the game, you can face it head on. And here's the truth: resistance never fully disappears. No matter how far you go, no matter how much you win, it will always show up in new forms. The difference is that you become stronger, sharper, and more capable of handling it. The fight that once terrified you becomes routine. The fear that once froze you becomes fuel. What once felt impossible becomes normal. That is growth. That is progress. That is how winners are made. Think about how powerful this realization is. It means that every battle, every moment of doubt, every hardship is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of leveling up. The game is shaping you. The resistance is preparing you. The struggle is proof that you're on the path to something greater. Once you understand that, you stop running from difficulty and start running toward it. You stop fearing the fight and start embracing it, because you know that each battle brings you closer to victory. There will be days when quitting feels easier than continuing, days when the pressure feels unbearable, days when the voices of doubt seem louder than your belief. In those moments, remember this: winners are not the ones who never struggled. They are the ones who refuse to quit. The game doesn't ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be relentless, to keep pushing when it hurts, to keep moving when it's heavy, to keep believing when the odds are stacked against you. This is where true strength is born, not in the moments of ease, but in the moments of resistance. When you feel the urge to stop and still keep going, you are building the kind of resilience that no opponent can break. That's the difference between those who talk about winning and those who actually win. So do not run from resistance. Face it, fight it, embrace it. See it as the training ground for your greatness. Every obstacle is not there to block you, but to prepare you. Every challenge is not punishment, but progress. Every struggle is not the end. It's the beginning of your transformation. The fight is inevitable, but so is your growth if you refuse to surrender. Life is a game, and the resistance you face is simply the test to prove how badly you want to win. Stand tall, push harder, and let every battle carve you into the competitor you were meant to become. Because the ones who win are not the ones who avoided the fight. They are the ones who embraced it with everything they had. When you fight through resistance and refuse to quit, you earn the right to taste something few ever experience, the joy of winning. And this joy is not about flashing lights, applause, or trophies on a shelf. It's deeper. It's the quiet moment when you realize you conquered what once felt impossible. It's the pride of looking in the mirror and knowing you didn't fold when life pressed against you. It's the fire of self-respect that can never be taken away because you earned it with your sweat, your struggle, and your persistence. Winning is freedom. Freedom from the chains of doubt that once held you back. Freedom from the fear of failure that once dictated your choices. Freedom from the regret that comes from never trying. It's the proof that you don't just talk about your potential, you live it. Every time you push through and come out on top, you send yourself a message, I can. I am capable. I am worthy. That message rewires your belief system and expands what you think is possible. This is why the joy of winning is not just about the outcome, but about who you become in the process. The prize is not just reaching the goal. The prize is becoming the kind of person who could reach it. You build a stronger mind. You build an unshakable spirit. You build the confidence that no matter what comes next, you will rise to meet it. That transformation is the true reward. And yet, so many people never get to experience it. They quit too soon. They settle for comfort. They trade long-term fulfillment for short-term ease. They never push long enough to see what it feels like to break through. That's why their lives feel empty, because deep down, every human being was built to strive, to grow, to conquer. When you deny yourself that fight, you deny yourself the joy of victory. Winning also creates momentum. The first victory sparks belief. The second builds confidence. The third solidifies identity. With each win, your mind begins to shift from maybe I can to nothing can stop me. That momentum carries into every area of your life. You walk differently, you speak differently, you carry yourself with the posture of someone who knows they have power. People feel it when you enter a room. And that energy draws opportunities, inspires respect, and fuels even greater victories. But here's the truth you must understand. Winning is not about beating others. The real game is with yourself. The real opponent is your own weakness, your own fear, your own excuses. When you win against yourself, when you silence the voice of doubt, when you conquer procrastination, when you overcome fear, that's when you truly win. External rewards may come, but the internal victory will always matter more. And do not confuse winning with perfection. Perfection is an illusion. Winning is about progress, about refusing to stay the same. Sometimes winning looks like getting up after failure. Sometimes winning is simply moving forward when every part of you wanted to stop. Every small victory counts. Every step forward is a win, and those steps compound into transformations you never imagined possible. The joy of winning also gives life meaning. Without the pursuit of victory, life feels flat, repetitive, and dull. But when you commit to winning, every day has purpose. Every challenge is fuel. Every moment is part of a larger story you are writing. That sense of purpose is what makes people feel alive. It's what makes struggle worth it, sacrifice meaningful, and effort exciting. Winning gives life a heartbeat, a rhythm, a reason to wake up with fire in your soul. And the most beautiful part? The joy of winning cannot be faked. It cannot be given. It cannot be borrowed. It must be earned. That's why it's so powerful. You can buy comfort, you can buy pleasure, but you cannot buy victory. You must sweat for it, bleed for it, fight for it. And when you finally hold it in your hands, it is priceless, because it carries the weight of everything you overcame to get there. So never rob yourself of that joy by settling for less. Never let the voice of doubt convince you that comfort is enough. Comfort is easy, but comfort is empty. Winning is hard, but winning fills your soul. Winning is the ultimate reward for those who refuse to give in, those who choose to fight, those who dare to play this game of life with everything they have. Life is not meant to be endured. It is meant to be conquered. And when you win, truly win, you understand that this game was never about surviving. It was about rising. It was about proving to yourself that you have the strength, the discipline, and the fire to make your life a masterpiece. That is the joy of winning. That is the meaning of playing this game to the fullest. Winning is powerful. But the truth is, most people stop there. They achieve a victory, they taste the satisfaction, and then they grow comfortable. But the game does not end with one win. The clock is still running. The levels are still rising. The question is not whether you can win once. It's whether you can keep winning, whether you can build a life defined by progress, not complacency. Because the ultimate tragedy is not losing, it's settling. It's reaching one peak and refusing to climb higher. Life is designed to test if you can stay hungry. The same fire that drives you to your first victory must continue to burn if you want more. You cannot let pride turn into laziness. You cannot let one win convince you the work is over. The game demands more. It demands evolution. It demands that you rise again and again, that you sharpen your skills, that you expand your vision. Every win should not make you comfortable. It should make you hungrier. The danger of success is that it whispers, "You've done enough." But the truth is, the moment you stop growing, you start declining. The moment you stop pushing, you start slipping. This is why you must never lose the mindset of the competitor. Always act like there's another level, because there is. Always train like the next challenge is bigger, because it will be. Always live like the game isn't finished, because it isn't until your time runs out. And here lies the essence of greatness: consistency. Anyone can shine for a moment. Anyone can push hard for a season. But only the truly committed continue year after year, fight after fight, victory after victory. Consistency turns one success into a legacy. Consistency transforms temporary wins into permanent greatness. The players who win at life are not the ones who sprint once. They are the ones who keep running, keep grinding, keep showing up long after the excitement fades. This requires vision. Vision beyond today. Vision beyond comfort. Vision beyond applause. You must see your life not just as a series of moments, but as a masterpiece in the making. You must ask yourself, what kind of story will my life tell when the game is finally over? That question fuels purpose. That question ignites urgency. That question pulls you beyond temporary victories into a life of unstoppable drive. And purpose is what transforms struggle into strength. Without purpose, the grind feels heavy. Without purpose, the fight feels endless. But with purpose, even the hardest days become fuel because you know why you were playing, you know what you're chasing, you know what it means to win. Purpose is the anchor that keeps you steady in chaos, the compass that keeps you moving forward, the fire that keeps you hungry when others grow tired. This is the challenge life lays before you. Will you settle for moments of victory, or will you build a life of greatness? Will you treat winning as the end or as the beginning of something bigger? The game does not reward those who rest on their past. It rewards those who keep evolving, who keep chasing, who keep proving every day that they are here to compete. Do not mistake this for greed or endless dissatisfaction. This is about becoming the fullest version of yourself. This is about refusing to die with potential still inside you. This is about honoring the opportunity of life by giving it everything you have until the very end. Because when the clock runs out, it won't matter how many comforts you enjoyed. It will matter how fully you played, how hard you fought, how much you grew. And that is why you must keep the hunger alive. Hunger for growth, hunger for impact, hunger for greatness. Because hunger keeps you moving. Hunger keeps you alive. Hunger ensures that when the final whistle blows, you leave the game with nothing left inside you, no wasted talent, no unfulfilled dreams, no untapped strength. The joy of winning is powerful, but the legacy of relentless winning is eternal. It is not just about what you achieve for yourself, but what your victories inspire in others. It is not just about the battles you conquer, but the standard you set, the example you leave, the mark you carve into the world. That is what it means to truly win this game. So never stop, never settle, never let one victory convince you the journey is over. Play every day with the hunger of a beginner and the discipline of a champion. Keep climbing, keep fighting, keep growing. Because life is a game, and the ones who truly win are not the ones who win once. They are the ones who refuse to stop winning until the very end. When you strip everything down, life is not about how long you live, but about how fully you live. It is not about the number of years you exist, but about the intensity with which you play the game. You can drift through life half awake, letting days blur into weeks and weeks into years. Or you can wake up and decide to live with purpose, passion, and power. The choice is always yours. And the truth is, most people will never make that choice. They will survive, but they will never play. They will exist, but they will never win. They will die with their potential still inside them, and the world will never know what they could have become. But you are not most people. You would not still be here if you were content with mediocrity. Something inside you knows you are meant for more. Something inside you refuses to settle. Something inside you aches to rise, to push, to break limits. That is your signal. That is the voice of your higher self calling you forward. The fact that you can hear it means you are ready. The fact that it stirs something inside you means your game has already begun. Life will not hand you victories. It will not give you permission to be great. It will not lower the bar so you can feel comfortable. Life will test you, challenge you, and demand proof of your commitment. And that is a gift, because without the test, there is no triumph. Without the struggle, there is no strength. Without the resistance, there is no rise. You are not here to be handed wins. You are here to earn them. And when you do, they will mean everything. Every day is a level. Every decision is a move. Every action builds momentum. The clock is ticking whether you play or not, and the painful truth is this: time will pass anyway. In 1 year, you will look back. You can look back with regret, knowing you wasted another chance, or you can look back with pride, knowing you gave everything and pushed yourself beyond limits. In 5 years, you will look back again. The question is, will you see progress or excuses, growth or stagnation, a legacy or a lifetime of what-ifs? This is why you cannot wait. You cannot keep telling yourself, tomorrow I'll start. Tomorrow I'll change. Tomorrow I'll chase my dream. Tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. The only time you have is now. The only power you hold is in the present moment. Winners act today. Losers wait for the perfect time, and the perfect time never comes. Every second you hesitate, you are giving your future away. So what will you do? Will you watch the game from the sidelines, or will you step onto the field and play with everything you have? Will you settle for survival, or will you fight for greatness? Will you let fear dictate your moves, or will you move in spite of fear? These are not small questions. These are the questions that determine the quality of your entire life. And here's the truth you must never forget. You are capable of more than you can imagine. Your limits are not fixed. Your potential is not capped. The only barrier between who you are and who you could be is the story you keep telling yourself. Change the story and you change the game. Stop saying I can't. Stop saying I'm not ready. Stop saying maybe someday. Replace those words with action. Replace those doubts with discipline. Replace those fears with fire, because the game will not wait for you. The clock will not stop for you. Life will not pause until you feel ready. The players who win are the ones who step in before they feel ready, who move while afraid, who fight while uncertain. They do not wait for perfect conditions. They create them. They do not wait for luck. They build momentum. They do not wait for opportunity. They prepare so well that when the door opens, they are already running through it. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your chance to stop existing and start living. The game is already in motion, and every choice you make is a move. Play it safe and you stay stuck. Play it bold and you rise. Play it scared and you remain small. Play it fearless, and you create a life that inspires not just yourself, but everyone around you. The clock is ticking. The field is waiting. The game is yours. Stop watching. Stop waiting. Stop holding back. Step in, play hard, fight with everything inside you, and refuse to stop until you win. Not once, not twice, but over and over until your life itself becomes the ultimate victory.